Hey Eric, earlier today, I had to use the toilet at a coffee shop, but it was so dirty.
Oh my god, same. I had to hold my pee for like 3 hours until I went home.
Oh, it's a pity. Well, that is why we have the Public Toilet Task Force, and working with the community and all stakeholders, we hope to fix that so that you don't have to hold your pee anymore.
Thanks. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the HwaChies Voices podcast. I'm Eric Tan from IB1P.
And I am Victoria Westnich from IB1I.
Today, we welcome a very, very special guest. He, among other capacities, is a Senior Parliamentary Secretary, serving in both the Ministry of Transport and the Ministry of Sustainability and the Environment. Since 2006, he has been a Member of Parliament and initially representing Tanjong Pagar GRC and now serving the residents at Tampines North at Tampines GRC. He is Mr. Baey Yam Keng.
Hello. Mr. Baey graduated from Hwa Chong Junior College in its class of 1987. In his political career, Mr. Baey served as a Central Executive Committee member of the People's Actions Party. And more recently, he co-chaired the Public Toilets Task Force as the Ministry of Sustainability and the Environment. Throughout his career, he has worked in the Economic Development Board, Ministry of Trade and Industry, Capitalan, and Hill and Knowlton Strategies. Mr. Baey, welcome to the HwaChies Voices podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Mr. Baey, let's talk about your career. So your dual responsibilities in the Ministries of Transport and the Ministries of Sustainability and the Environment are very, very and unique, of course. And how do you manage these two portfolios, and have you discovered any kind of like synergies between them?
Well, our work in the ministries is to set good policies for Singapore and for Singaporeans. So the government needs to take care of many things that affect our lives. Singapore's economy, what we need in our lives at different stages, in family, different generations. So we are supported by the civil service, right? The government officers in terms of policy making recommendations and implementation. So at the moment now, I'm serving in these two ministries. So they cover different parts of the government work. And if you ask me about synergy, well, a big thing that is driving the Singapore government now is in the space of sustainability. How do we prepare ourselves to be more sustainable, for the future of our generations, right? Because climate change is a big thing that's affecting the world now. So how does Singapore play a part in this, in the international space, but also to ensure that Singaporeans can continue to enjoy a livable environment. So this is a space that many industries have a part to play. So MSE, look at the name, is one of the key ministry. And MOT will have a big part to play as well, because the transport sector contributes quite a bit to our carbon emissions. So MOT, we are looking at how can we promote the use of cleaner vehicles. So the push towards electric vehicles or hybrid, which has lower or zero carbon emissions, that will help to keep our air clean and play a big part in this journey. Yeah, so I'm in a way fortunate that in my sort of head of in MSE, I'm also actually looking into EV adoption under MOT, as well as also to promote active mobility. So that is promoting the use of cycling devices that do not emit too much, but at the same time allow people to get around, whether within town or to town, so that we can all enjoy the spaces we have, and at the same time reduce our emissions to the environment.
Not many people know that actually before running for office, you work in the civil service and the private sector. So how did you make that sort of transition?
Before I ran for elections in 2006, my career was in the government service. So first with the EDB, the Economic Development Board, then in the Ministry of Information, Communications and the Arts. So primarily a civil servant. So the rule in Singapore is that to run for politics, you need to leave the civil service. So I had to quit my job. That's when I entered the corporate sector. So first in CapitaLand and then in Hill and Norton. So the transition wasn't something I planned, okay, but I was willing to take the plunge and try something different, because if this is what required for me to enter politics, and I'm happy to try out. At the time, I was only about 35 years old, so relatively young. So perhaps more agile to make changes. But I also had to take care of my family, because at the time our 3 kids were already born. So at the time they were just toddlers, pre-primary age. But the biggest support came from my wife. She was very supportive. So daring me on, or to say, okay, let's give it a try. What can happen? At most you fail. All right. At most after 1 term, 5 years, if it doesn't work out, just don't run for next term. Yeah. But I think I made the right decision, because it allows me to take on a different role, to help people, to benefit Singaporeans. And I also learned a lot along the way. There's a lot of personal development. And so I really felt that, for young people out there who's watching this, if there's ever a chance for you to step up and do more, try out. All right. You can start by doing some voluntary work, be more curious about what's happening in a community, whether in the school environment or where you live, your neighborhood. There's always something that we can all play a part. Joining a charity or VWO, or, gathering people that are like-minded, share similar interests, passion, and something you want to do together. Give it a try. One thing may lead to another, and at the end of it, it's about how you gain and benefit from the experience. So for me, I would say that I'm honored to be able to serve as MP, first in Queenstown, then in Tampines, for now close to 20 years. So so I hope that our young people will have this mindset as well, to devote yourself to public service or community service.
On government policies, perhaps, let's talk about the behind-the-scenes process. Can you run us through how a policy is first proposed and then debated on, from ministry to GPC to parliament and so on?
Wow, it's a very big question. So, for the government's role is to serve the nation and the people. Right? So we need to set policies that make sense, and to have also a broader perspective, but also a longer term objective. Policies set the directions of how things should be run and could be run in Singapore. And policy do not come from thin air. All right. A lot is through observations and feedback from the ground. So that is why, from our early years, our founding Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew insisted that the PAP MPs must conduct Meet the People sessions, because these sessions, which are held every week, it allows residents to come to us to make appeals to the government. So it could be in all aspects of like the life, the work, or in the community. So with that experience, we know how people are being affected by policies. So whether is it as an exception that we need to make special consideration for these appealants, or is that a reflection that certain policies are no longer relevant, that they have outlived their usefulness, for example, that it's time to change. So it could apply to like housing, public housing, could be car ownership, could be, child caring, or education, all things, under the sun. So with that, direct, experience, contact with residents, we are able to then voice these, concerns or issues, in Parliament. Okay. So as a MP, we can ask questions in Parliament. We can, give suggestions to the minister of how things could be made better. Then the minister, as the person in charge for the ministry, will then need to take these questions or suggestions and work with the civil service, the government sort of machinery to say, okay, this is what the suggestion is about. Is it valid? How should we respond to it? Should we change, or should we, make some tweaks here and there? Or should we stand firm on the policy because of these various considerations? Then the Parliament is a platform for this exchange to happen. The ask and then the response, and whether there should be changes or there should be explanation of why the policy is there. All right, so that's how the Parliament works. And you mentioned about GPC. So that was to better organize the MPs, the backbenchers, that means those without a government portfolio. So for them to be better, to help the government to focus on certain issues, because to run the country, you need different ministries, but there will be ministries which are more sort of relevant or more interesting to men on the street, like maybe housing, transport, or social services. But there will be ministries like, for example, foreign affairs. All right, that maybe not a lot of people are interested, that it doesn't affect me. All right, so then MPs might then say, oh, foreign affairs are not important to my residents. They may not spend a lot of time on it. That's why the GPC was set up to cover all ministries in the government, so that we are able to spend due time and pay due attention to these things that may not be interesting to a man on the street, but it's still very important for the country. So GPC was set up to have that focal attention on, so that we are fair to different ministries and different portfolios, because the country needs people to work on these matters and to give government the ideas, and for the government to respond to these queries as well.
Speaking about the policies, the Singapore Green Plan 2030 is a very bold map for Asia's future. So I think it's like the most well-known amongst us Singaporeans. So, but actually not many people know its exact policy. So in your words, what exactly is the
Well, happy to hear that Green Plan is known among at least your generation. And that's very heartening, because the Green Plan is a very comprehensive strategy to prepare Singapore for the future, to make sure that we have a sustainable future in terms of our environment, the way we live, work, and play, to make sure that we have the resources, and that we are able to provide for future generations, like young people ourselves. We have decades ahead of you. So, and it is a multi-ministry effort, because it requires, for example, Ministry of Trade Industry to look at what kind of investments to bring to Singapore. And when companies operate in Singapore, they may generate emissions that will affect our environment. So what are the rules, the requirements, and what the type of industries we attract to Singapore? All right, whether to provide good jobs for people who want to be interested in the sustainability arena, or adopt technologies that are less harmful to our environment. Okay, so MTI would be one key ministry. We also there's also MOT. So as I was mentioned earlier, about how do we make our commuting our transport sectors more sustainable. Not just land, not just about emissions from motor vehicles on the road, but also airplanes, ships, vessels, because they also emit through the fuel they use. So how do we push them to use more sustainable fuels, more environment friendly engines, and the way they operate? Okay, so there's a lot of high tech technology, but also processes and also safety considerations. So let's say we use a type of fuel that may be flammable, okay, or hazardous. How do we take care of that? And you may have heard that we are looking at how do we generate a cleaner energy, electricity, and we are going to look at possibly using nuclear reactors. How do we do it? It is established technology, but there are also new generations of nuclear power generation. How can they be applied in Singapore's context? But these are things that we need to plan years ahead so that our know-how is there, so that our people are also prepared to accept these different ways of like power generation in Singapore. And MOE is also a key partner in this because we need our younger generation to learn the right way of living, sustainable. All right. Also interest in these areas and the courses we teach, the skills we impart to our young generation. They are able to take on green jobs or greener jobs because the green industry will offer a lot more new opportunities. All right. Some jobs may go, okay, but they will generate other possibilities, other opportunities in the workforce as well. So how do we prepare our young people to be ready for that? And MSE is also important because we are trying to get people adopt or cultivate good habits. So whether it's in recycling, about being more sustainable in the way we do things, about food sustainability as well, various things about using more energy efficient appliances. How do we, why do we want to promote setting of the aircon temperature at 25 degrees? A lot of things that we do in our daily life can have impact on the way we use our resources, in the way we emit carbon to the atmosphere. So it really involves many ministries, many partners, corporate, community, so that each of us can play a part towards tackling climate change. And Green Plan is the national plan to galvanize the different sectors and parties together.
Do you think youths like me and Victoria are sufficiently engaged with these climate change and sustainability issues? And what role can we play in advocating for a more sustainable society?
Well, then you have to tell me whether you feel yourself engaged. I mean, to me, our experience, because in our various programs, we do see a lot of young people very passionate about these topics. Passionate in terms of the doers, as in, oh yes, I'll support this. When we do, let's say, clean up of our coastal areas, pick up litter at our beaches. You're a lot of young people. All right. For example, we work with UCOR Singapore. They do get, a lot of people signing up. Last year we had this oil spill, right, at the beaches. We got a lot of people helping to clean up our beaches as well. But not just people who are just responding to calls, coming to, offer, some help, spending a morning with us. But there are also young people who are setting up new initiatives, doing like workshops, outreach with whether older citizens or young kids. Because a lot of the applicants for our SG Eco Fund, we have this fund that support community initiatives to promote sustainability and involving community. And I believe HwaChies is also one of the applicants for the SG Eco Fund. So this is are very good examples where youth can tap on resources we need your ideas. We need your raw but very important energy to also galvanize your peers to come on this journey, and also through your ways of engagement, social media, your TikTok videos, to promote these messages and get people excited about it, and more importantly, wanting to take action.
That's true. I do think that the topic of sustainability is it requires a lot of creativity, I feel. So I also think it's important for like people of our generation to be involved in this matter, especially since it's our world that needs to changing.
And you're the ones going to benefit most from it.
Yeah.
All right. Because you're going to live far, longer than me. And, you hopefully will see the results of what we're doing now. Whether it's big policy changes about or mandating certain, higher efficiency, kind of machinery, equipment, rules about, using cleaner fuels, or little actions on the everyday, how we recycle, how do we use, less resources, waste less, and, contribute less to our landfill, and these are things, or even new technologies about, who knows, next time, our ashes that we collect from our incineration need not be, thrown into the landfill, but all can be reusable into useful products, so that we create zero waste. Yeah. And these are new things that we need our future generations to think about, to offer, solutions and play a part in helping the world.
So I think most of the time as well, people of our age group, we usually think that the topic of sustainability, it can be pretty heavy. Like either it's lightweighted or it's heavy. Cause I think the schools would usually tell us that to save energy, we need to make sure the lights are turned off in the classrooms before we leave the classroom, which is like a minor thing we have to do. But sustainability also has like another side, which talks about landfills and everything drastic. So that makes us believe that in order to live an environmentally friendly life, we have to make these drastic changes, which I think scares people a bit. So what is your take on this?
Well, yes, the task or the mission may seem daunting, but every, big thing start with a small step. So, at your age where you are still learning, in schools, make good use of the different opportunities, like the SG Eco Fund, but providing resources, or taking part in our Go Green SG. It's an annual, sort of, festival where we put together, many, exciting, activities where you can explore behind the scene tours. You can look at, some of eco, initiatives we have in Singapore, learn from the corporate, the community partners. And these interactions might give you some ideas of, hey, maybe I can join this group to volunteer, to do something, or to take on a bigger role as an organizer, or even start something, a venture, a social enterprise, yourselves. And that's where we like to see, a diversity of ideas and initiatives, and as some of them will work and be very successful. And, but what's more important is that your action will spur others, your peers, about, oh, if you can do it, maybe I can have a chance as well. And that's what we want to encourage, because everyone can play a part and have to play a part. Everyone has to play a part. So as a government, our role is to create that platform and provide the resources to spur the ideas, to nudge you further. But more importantly is the sense of ownership, that you believe that you want to play a part, and therefore it is something that you are committed to. Even our daily life, as I said, switch off the light when you leave the room. Simple things, but every little bit helps. Yeah, and you know about Earth Hour, right? About switching off. Yes, it's that at a time of the day, but it's just once a year. Okay, but it is such a powerful statement that corporates, governments, cities around the world are responding. It's a very visible, but what I hope is that it becomes a daily habit for people to use, to behave, and collectively we can then sort of reap the benefits of being more conscious about our actions and doing our little contribution to tackle climate change.
Mr. Baey, shall we move on to a more personal topic? And so, you candidly shared your experience with stage 1 nose cancer. So how has it affected your work life and your approach?
So when I was diagnosed with nose cancer, I was also lucky because it was only at stage 1, very early stage, and typically not noticeable. And so I count myself, I really count my blessings that I was able to start treatment at this stage where it is a lot easier and treatable. Okay, so that is also a wake-up call for me to be more careful about my lifestyle, my what I eat, whether I exercise enough, because you need to keep your body and mind in a good state to tackle medical conditions, health issues. So therefore, I was lucky, and now I just did my 3rd year scan. So at every anniversary, we do a scan to check that the cancer is not back. So far I'm clear. But it is a lifelong screening that we have to do as all cancer patients and survivors. So, but it also brought the family together. All right, I was very appreciative of what my wife did, because she had to take care of me, and it also helped me with at the time, the daily radiation treatment. To take care of me when I have ulcers in my mouth, I can't eat well, and various things. But I think all this made us stronger. All right, and I was also very heartened by many people coming forward to offer their help or to express their concern with the friends, family, and also my residents or my colleagues to sort of help with my workload. And so I think it is unfortunate. I hope no one needs to go through that, but that's life. All right, we have to face challenges, adversities, and we have to keep an open mind, try our best to face it and to resolve it. But at the same time, we open to also tap on the resources we have, the people around us, so that the journey is not so lonely, and together we can overcome these challenges. But when the time is needed for us to offer ourselves to help someone else who is going through a difficult patch in their life or health scares, we should play our part.
So that is so inspiring. That touched my heart, sir.
I think it's a really beautiful thing that, despite these hard challenges, you receive love from, the whole community, and especially your family and your wife. I just think, that's usually what pushes us forward in these tough times. I think it's a really important thing.
Indeed. Because when things are going well, sometimes you just take for granted. Right? This is how it should be, and therefore, whether we are a receiver of the kindness, the love, the care, the concern, the graciousness, or we are the provider. All right. So at different stages of life, we will go through different things. Then I think let each of these episodes be something that we become stronger, become wiser, so that we are able to be a better person, right, going forward.
Yeah, I think so too. But since we mentioned your wife, considering you met her in HCJC, what are your takes of pre-university dating?
Well, we weren't dating. Well, we were in Hwa Chong. We only became a couple when I was in uni and she was already working. Yeah, but we were good friends. We were good friends because we were in the same CCA, and we've been keeping in touch even when I was away, studying. So I would say that as a student, make good use of your time, in JC, to make friends. Okay, discover yourselves, your interests, your personality, because you're also shaping your personality, and your interactions with friends is an important part of it, of growing up. All right, how about how to deal with different people? All right, and you must in a school environment, it is a bit more innocent, I think. Okay, a bit simpler. So that is a good environment for you to try out, to make friends, to explore relationships. And relationships can come in different forms, not necessarily romantic relationship. Okay, but it comes. I have friends who started dating in JT. They are husband and wife now, in a happy family. But there are also examples where they broke off and become very nasty after that. So I think, but that's part of life. I would say that I won't stop my kid. Well, they are already past JC stage. They are university and above. So I hope that actually they start dating. So the worry, the concern of parents today is that their kids are not dating or not getting married. Yeah. So I would say that I wouldn't try too hard to be against or to get them get hitched or whatever, but it's about their own journey. All right. As a parent, I hope that I've done enough to instill good values in them, and it's for them to lead their lives. All right, to decide what works for them and what they want to pursue in their life, but most importantly, be accountable for the actions and decisions.
And speaking about your family, by running for political office, you also turn your family into political figures. So how do you manage that?
Well, I wouldn't say they are political figures, but their lives will be affected because of what I do. Okay. So at the beginning, I already made a point that I will not expose my kids to in public life. All right. So I don't post photos of them, with their faces, so that they are not recognized. So I only post photos of them when they're very young, so that you can't recognize them now. But no matter what, whether in school or at workplace, it is possible that people around them would know that they are my child. So there could be different expectations of them. But they will have to deal with it, or to learn how to deal with it. So in school, while they were in school, I mean, there are different phases. I find that secondary phase is maybe a little bit getting a bit more self-conscious, but maybe not enough confidence yet. So they tend to be more sensitive. All right, if I visit them in school or attend the meet parent sessions. All right, so but I respect that they want their space. But now they are, in the 20s, they are, I think, a lot more comfortable with their sort of their identity. But they also perhaps have also built their own character, and people know them for who they are rather than because of them being my son or daughter. But I do appreciate them having, really they have no choice, right? When they started school, I'm already in politics. So I think they have managed well. They are, I think, sensible kids, sensible young adults now. But that is part and parcel of choosing a public life. Our families are affected. So I hope that public also will give space to all other public figures, whether in politics, in entertainment, in the different sectors, that not to drag the family or people around them into, because they may not be totally relevant. All right, and they are not part of the public life. Give them space, and even for politicians, sometimes we are out in public spaces with our family. I know a lot of well-meaning. They maybe just want to say hi. They like to take a photo, which is fine. I think we generally will oblige. But if there are cases where you know that we are in a private moment with our families, so just give us that little space.
So before we wrap up, is there any last message you'd like to share with our listeners?
Well, you are a very fortunate generation because you're growing up in a phase of Singapore development where we have a lot more resources. But it means also that you have a lot that you can do because you are able to benefit from the education system, the things that we've put in place, your parents have put in place, the school has put in place, the government has put in place for you to grow, to learn. So how you make use of it is entirely in your hand. And I would like to encourage our young people to explore, to find out what you are good in, what you could be interested in, and the role you can play, and stay committed, try your best, learn from failures and setbacks, and success will one day be yours.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining us today, Mr. Baey. This has truly been an enriching conversation.
It certainly is, Victoria. Mr. Baey, we appreciate your time and insights. And as for you listeners, we are your hosts, Eric
And Victoria.
and we hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. Until next time, see you and bye.
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 Bye.